What is up, Sideways Power? Back again today with another video, and guess what? We have our buddy Q's Is300 back on the lift. If you don't already kind of see the resemblance from last time, the car's basically identical. So, Is300 is totaled. Homie got on it on the way down from La Vida and lost it. After all that work. Same year, 01 white Is300 automatic. His old engine is sitting over here, so we're gonna go ahead and give you a quick rundown of the car, walk through it, and show you how we're gonna get going again. He's made a whole bunch of upgrades, a whole bunch of changes to this car since last time he did crash the vehicle. I'll put a little link in the video right now and in the description of the last video after dyno. It was pretty tragic. Car was totally totaled right after dyno, about 10 minutes after dyno, and the customer could have died for all we know. So let's go ahead and get right into it right now and check it out. So first off, overall looks. This one is black interior. He's already gutted out a whole bunch of stuff in the back to make it easier to work on. And you can see it's auto. As far as wheels go, he has some RPF 1s on this thing with R888s the whole way around. Looks like he's running a 275/40 in the rear right now, which doesn't really fit the car too well, but I guess we're just gonna go ahead and raise it for now and make it work. I mean, more meat is better than no meat. And he learned that last time. If you watch the video as well, at the end of it, he's like, we learned something today. Tires are important, so we're not gonna make that mistake again. Batteries are really relocated to the trunk. We've already disconnected it. We're gonna go ahead and start pulling the engine out of this thing. For everybody that doesn't know much about this car, I mean, let's go into it real quick. So, stock engine right now, bone stock. His old setup is right here. For everybody that didn't see it in the last video, his T56 Tremec with the McLeod twin plate, 2JZ GTE VVTi with a Powerhouse Racing old ETS turbo. We're gonna be doing a different setup this time too, along with the fuel system. We're gonna be doing a surge tank with twin pumps, which I will get into with you guys for later, since the last video that we did with the E30 didn't hit that well because I guess people just didn't really care to watch it. We're gonna go ahead and do it again and show you in a car like this how important it is to do a system like this, and I'll kind of go over that really quickly right now with you guys too, and how it's all gonna kind of go down. But yeah, we're gonna go, I guess, just run what we brought in again. But he bought a Treadstone intercooler, brand new in box, the last one in stock. It's right there in the U-line box right there. So we're gonna be putting a bigger intercooler on it to make more power. But since last time we had to cap it out at about 600, we do wanna do 750, which is way more than what he had last time, but is what it is. And then just to show you really quickly, and we'll get into this later as well in this video or the next one, because I'm sure this will be a 1 or 2 part series for this. The fuel pump comes out right here in your car. Under these 3 bolts, you will only have one single feed line, which I will get into later. But that one feed line feeds your engine, and if you look at the engines here, you will see right here that you have no fuel pressure regulator. But in the back here, you have your one feed line that attaches into here. So in these cars, the fuel pump has a regulator built into the fuel pump to where the ECU will kind of work with the fuel pump and keep you from doing anything fun or cool and keeping the car super gay. So we're gonna go ahead and rip the engine out right now and get it all prepped and ready to do the next part, since we are gonna be doing ABS delete and a whole bunch of other stuff while we're at it to make this thing super clean. Unfortunately, you will not be able to go to AEM Infinity, all because of time frame. The customer wants to get the car ready for Supers in Vegas, which is a big thumbs up for all of us since we are a sponsor for that event. And that's gonna be a huge video with lots of content, but I am very stoked. I will get underneath this thing as well while we're pulling it and show you all the work they did to the subframe. It is god beautiful. Brand new BC coilovers or Power Max coilovers, a whole bunch of other upgrades that he did underneath. So let's go ahead and get right into it, as well as I believe he did twin turbo super brakes or LS400 super brake upgrades, front and rear upgrades on this car as well with the brackets. So he's definitely not going to die this time. He's definitely gonna be able to do a lot more this time. So let's get it. So as we can see, we're coming out right now, getting this baby all prepped for her nice new heart. So we gotta get that out with the auto trans right now. And then our good old buddy right here went ahead and drained the AC from the compressor, which wasn't supposed to be done. You don't want to do this, guys. You don't want to do this at all. You want to just leave it connected and leave it in the car. But for the sake of putting the T56 in with the 2J, I'm not glad, but it happened, and it's going to be a little bit easier for us. We can actually pull the engine, put the engine in easier if we just remove the front end right here to get the big engine and big trans in. All right, friends and fam, look at that beautiful engine right there. Woohoo! She is out. Super stoked to have this one be another one of our stored away engines we got back here, because we have a whole plethora of 2JZ GE engines we are hoarding right now because the market's just totally fucked and everything is just trashed right now. So what we're going to be doing on this one that was different than last time is we're going to go ahead and delete the ABS. And yeah, as we're deleting the ABS, we're going to make all this stuff super clean. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this power steering cooler system in here because we're going to need the space up here for the intercooler. We're going to go ahead and remove the bumper. We're going to probably end up removing the whole front end here now. Now the AC's been drained, unfortunately, we have the room here now to go ahead and strip this out so that big T56 engine with the transmission with the 2JZ over there with the big turbo can slide in this thing super easy and beautifully. Let's see if we can get over to Mesa Host today to get the braided line stuff done for the brakes. Maybe we can even get the engine in today. That'd be awesome. Let's get it. A little update of what we're doing right now. We're gonna go ahead and pull all this apart so we can slide the engine straight in like I said earlier. I went ahead and mapped out a little diagram right here of how we're gonna be doing the ABS delete. So for future reference for anybody who wants to know if they're doing this themselves, the front is your front brakes and the rear back here is your rear brakes. So I verified with Chase Bays that that's how their kit works. This is how our kit's gonna work. So we're gonna run one line down across to the caliper, one line with an adapter out here down to the caliper, and then we're gonna have to get from the back there a little T to those two brake lines for the rear right there. Then we can go ahead and get this engine in. The engine, from when Q ended up crashing, the whole entire oil pan got ripped off and destroyed. I don't know if you guys can see this down here, but the whole aluminum pan is gone. The pickup is gone, everything. So we gotta get this thing jacked up and get that all changed over before we can put it in the car. But we are trying to hurry to get this done because Q wants it done now, not tomorrow, not the next day, right the fuck now. So let's get it. Okay guys, so this is the oil pan. Sage has spent the last hour tearing this thing off, and holy shit, what a fucking mess of crap this is. Look at the oil pan. It's not even an oil pan anymore. The whole pickup tube, he actually couldn't even unbolt from the pan because of how bad it was. The baffle is all totally destroyed. And then we actually went over here and looked into what else is destroyed, and the alternator may be all right. I guess we'll have to fire it up on that. But if you can see down there, the line right there, the crank pulley is actually destroyed. So we're gonna have to replace the crank pulley. The AC compressor, it has a big ass dent in it. We're gonna have to change that from, I guess, his old OEM one. And besides that, we're looking okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hop under real quick just to check the engine from the bottom and see if we have any kind of collision or colliding or anything that's gonna make us be like, uh-oh, problem. So it is definitely dirty underneath here, but I don't see any collision. I'll probably have Sage rotate the engine and we'll look at everything and see. I mean, it looks like it needs like really good cleaning. We're definitely gonna have to spray some brake clean in there and get all this little metal-y crap off of there. We definitely don't want that in the engine. So let's get her done.
Right here in the shop.
So engine is all complete, back together. This is the carnage of everything that was destroyed. I really hope this thing lasts and ends up starting up and running fine, because judging by the pickup and how the pickup was bent pretty much in half and to basically almost touching the engine, I wouldn't doubt that this thing sucked air. Crazy like that. But so what we'll do is we're gonna dry crank it to get oil pressure into everything, and then we'll fire it up on the first oil change, let it idle for a few minutes, you know, work the RPM up a little bit just to get the oil to kind of circulate. Probably drain it, put a new filter on it, and then we'll go ahead and start it to kind of let it run and drive it a little bit to make sure that everything's good. But I mean, we're gonna have our fingers crossed on this, because usually it's not very good when this happens to your engine. It usually leads to the engine having rod knock. So let's cross our fingers, hope it all goes well for him, because we all wish Q the best and we love him a lot. So Let's get her done. We're gonna put the engine in right now. Dang, bro, 5 minutes and 30 seconds is all it took to get it in the car.
That's awesome.
Cool. Just to show it to you guys, I mean, obviously the engine mounts got destroyed since the car was twisted. You can see one of them right there and the other one's somewhere over here on the floor. So we had to go ahead and change the engine mounts to some other ones that we had here. Luckily, we had some other ones that were in good condition that were here. Also, his transmission crossmember, I wasn't able to find his parts till now, but we found them. But his transmission crossmember, his mount totally tore off. I mean, like, the accident was so bad, you guys. Like, I mean, really, like, we're lucky nothing, like, the whole engine wasn't just, like, smashed in half and, like, the transmission wasn't cracked and broken. But everything important seems like it's okay. So we're going to hope for the best. And I mean, I really hope it all works out for him. This is going to be a super dope build and way better this time that we got the opportunity to do it the way I wanted to do it. So let's get it. Okay. So as I was telling you guys, we got figs, RCAs, all new bushings, all new control arms. Everything is brand new. Literally every freaking bushing. We got the Hotchkiss front sway bar with new end links. I mean, even the whole arm back here has been replaced with polyurethane bushings from probably Prothane. And then look at this rear end, you guys. Talk about a lot of fucking work. You got Power by Max bushings, another Hotchkiss sway bar. We got the Figs Engineering lower control arms and traction rod bracket or traction rod arms, new upper control arms. The subframe bushings have been done. The differential bushings have been done. Like literally everything. So talk about this thing being like a badass machine now. This thing is just gonna be awesome and probably handle amazing. We did steel braided brake lines back here. I mean, it's got the works. He's even got the Figs Engineering tow arm on this thing. So this is like super properly built. Probably everything you could possibly do. I guess they put the OEM brakes back on because the bracket stripped out or something ended up happening with the Supra brakes or the LS400 brakes. So hopefully we can get those back on before we take it to Dyno so you can leave the car. I think he's planning on trailering the car home this time though. So yeah, engine is in. If you guys, I'm sure you guys already saw that when we did it. Everything else is looking pretty good. We already went and put the front end back together right here. AC condensers back on, radiator supports back in. We're gonna get the radiator in, the radiator hoses today, and pretty much it's gonna pretty much end our day for today because today we have another video we're gonna be shooting. We're also working on Squire's other Is300 that's over here. We just put in the W58 transmission from Alex's car that we were talking about doing in the other video. You can see where the shifter's at on this one. And they gotta put a new rear output shaft seal in it with a drive shaft, do the pedal set, and this thing's gonna be out of here too. So double the IS power. Hell yeah, brother. So as cool as it was right now, since his mount was totally broken and destroyed, like I was telling you guys from earlier, we were able, one of my buddy's shops had one of these energy suspension brand new ones. I was just gonna use an OEM Chevy one, but I mean, hey, why not? Polyurethane, this is what he probably should have had anyways, made in the USA. So let's get the tranny bolted up because I was worried about getting that in because I wanted to put the car back down and obviously the engine shifts. But just one more thing to add to the collection of shit that we're doing just to make sure everything is right in this thing. All new bushings, all new everything. No cutting corners. Let's get it done. All right, guys. So that is all together now. Drive shaft is in. Mounts replaced. We're bolted in. We're going to be doing fuel lines. We got to do a new exhaust system. And bleed all the brakes up. Rip all the OEM fuel, everything out of this thing. And hook up the clutch line that's here from the old car, make a few fasteners to get stuff to be where it needs to be, and this thing should be going pretty soon. So super glad that he trusted us again to rebuild the car that he crashed last time better. Super excited to get it all buttoned up and finished and back on the dyno. I believe we're gonna have this car on dyno the 28th. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't have her be able to get it done. The surge tank should be here next week. I'll be making a whole nother video about that, about installing one in an Is300 because it is the best option in this vehicle versus having to deal with all that crazy headache of crap that's there. I'll show you guys as well as we're doing it why you wouldn't want to do like an intake hanger, but because of the fact that once again, dude, like your level unit's gonna break, it's just not gonna fit right. You're gonna be ripping it in and out of the car a few times. It could be leaking on the top of the hanger. There's all kinds of scenarios that go all bad with running that. I do have 2 Powerhouse Racing hangers in stock. We'll probably do a video on that later in a different vehicle that we're not so pressed for time to get done in. But for his stuff, we're just gonna go ahead and do it the way that I wanna do it. Make sure it's all to like top-notch standard. Until next time, guys, peace.